The Get On Living Safely campaign is sponsoring this podcast to remind you to keep your spending in the community. Supporting local businesses keeps food on the table for our friends and neighbors. Follow them on social media and learn more at getonlivingsafely.com. In a past episode, we got to chat with Gus of Aris Global Imports. In that episode, we talked about Greek wine, grapes, their avenue into importing, and the origin of the business. So you can check that out on episode 102. But today, Gus has an update for us as Aris Global Imports moves into the world of olive oil and coffee. You can find more conversations on our website, lacrosselocal.com. I'm Amy.
And I'm Brent.
And this is Lacrosse Local.
Yeah, the idea from the beginning was to always have a diverse set of products. I mean, it just makes sense. I mean, if all of a sudden all the grapevines die in Greece, we had nothing to sell. So we've always been kind of on the lookout for new products. I'm kind of within the same realm, though. I'm trying to go for kind of a fine foods, fine drink, that type of thing. I just thought coffee and olive oil was going to be the next logical step. You know, olives are prevalent in Greece, just like grapes are. I think people think of Greece a little more readily when they think of olive oil versus wine. Greece does really make some of the best olive oil in the world. We actually hooked up with a producer down in Crete. So our wine is made in northern Greece, way up near the Balkans. And Crete is a little island just below, out there in the Mediterranean between, that has the Sea of Crete in between. Perfect conditions for growing. Some of the oldest, olive trees in the world are there. And we're really excited to get that product here. They've won, taste awards all throughout Europe. And again, this, just like our wine, currently we're the only ones carrying this brand here in the United States.
We chatted before. You talked about the variety of Greek grapes and wines and what makes them special. What is so special about Greek coffee and the olive oil? You touched on it a little bit there, but what is it all about?
Just to be clear, the coffee is actually coming from Brazil. Greece does have its own type of coffee, and I would love to carry it. I'm just really having a hard time finding some of that right now. Growing seasons and everything, the way that's processed, it's kind of hard to get your hands on everything you want, exactly how you want it. But I was able to find a producer of Brazilian coffee. It's coming in. So I'm actually waiting for the truck right now. They're driving it right over here to my house. So I'm really excited about that I can get it over and start packaging. But more to your point, Greeks, when it comes to olive oil, that's what they know. Just like with their wine. I mean, as far back as they've been writing stuff down, they've been writing about their wine and their olive oil. So, when we're talking cradles of good stuff, Greece is where it's at. This particular brand, it's called Latsimas. I feel dumb. I didn't even look up what that means. I think it's a family name, if I'm honest. This family has been making olive oil for generations, and they've been doing it the same way. It's cold pressed, and they've been using the same mills. They do it right there on the premises. I feel really good about bringing this product over because it's not just going to be your run-of-the-mill olive oil. Now, a lot of people just use oil for cooking or whatever. This is the type of oil that you can cook with. You can use it as a standalone if you're making a dressing. I like taking bread and just dipping it in olive oil and having a nice little, something to have with some wine or just with a meal. This is that type of, it's not your everyday oil. Sometimes you'll get olive oil that's cut with other things. This is pure, straight from the producer, straight from the family that's been making it for hundreds and hundreds of years.
It sounds like you really take some time with these different products to kind of research them. You find out if they're in that family for a while, kind of telling the back history. Is this how you do it with all your products? Like, how did you identify the coffee from Brazil as a product you wanted to carry?
Since I didn't have any personal connections in South America with this particular manufacturer, it just starts with reaching out and you do a little online research and you find companies that their stated organization has things like fair trade, decent business practices, those types of things are rated internationally. And that's what's important to me. A, is it a kind of a family operation? B, is it fair trade? Are they treating their people correctly? Now, obviously, I got to take their word for it. And eventually I'd love to go visit all these places. That would be a heck of a business trip. Because I just think when you're bringing a product, especially, it's a big expense. It's a lot of time, a lot of hassle, and just waiting to get it over here from wherever it is. I want to feel good about it once it arrives, without sounding too lovey-dovey about it. I really want the feeling of family and the feeling of goodness, I guess, if you know what I mean, of these products to pay forward into our community here. And that's why, I take that time.
So if people want to pick up these products, the wine too, or if they want to grab a bottle of olive oil to dip some of that bread or even the coffee, where are these products available? That's
what's exciting right now is we're actually starting an online store. I don't have it live as of the time of this recording, just because with COVID and the shipping problems right now is I don't have anything to put on there and I don't want to be backlogged. That's why I'm so excited about, the coffee finally getting here. Olive oil should be here, in a week or two. The wine by the end of the week. So that'll be going up. There's a big mountain of paperwork to be able to sell wine online. So until that happens, Woodman's is probably the best place to get it. There's a few places downtown, Four Sisters, over at David Ray's, they have it. It's we're making some inroads locally, but for the time being, those would be the best way. And then just keep posted because the online store is coming.
You're also rolling out a nonprofit aspect of the company. Can you tell us about the foundation you started?
The foundation is in its infancy. It's called the Anthony Foundation. I'm naming it after my son. He lost his life this summer. Everybody probably heard about that news. But we are kind of in the spirit of keeping his spirit alive. We wanted to do something positive with our business. So we're starting the Anthony Foundation. It's going to be myself, my wife are going to be on the board. My two daughters, we're going to be grooming them to eventually take it over. And then an old buddy of mine from the Navy, who I've known for years and years, from literally day one in boot camp. His name is Anthony LaFaus. He's coming on board as sort of a advisor and a board member as well to kind of keep us, on the straight and narrow. He knew Anthony from the time he was born. He was there. And so we're keeping it in the family. We're keeping it in close friends. The goal here is to take proceeds from our sales and reinvest them in the community in some way. I'm purposely keeping that some way vague because there's so many opportunities to give and to do good in the community. So that could manifest in, maybe making a donation to Beer by Bike Brigade, or making a donation directly to some sort of homeless organization, or even, community organizations like WISCOR that my son was very involved in. The things that benefit others and that benefit the community versus a like just one narrow focused goal. So that's the whole reasoning behind that. When we say, proceeds, obviously the more sales we get, the more we're going to be able to direct into that. We're still running a business here. So we, until we take off I can't say for sure, 10% of every sale, or ideally what I would like to do is, $1 or $2 from every sale goes back into the Anthony Foundation, and then, more as the business develops.
It's interesting to see kind of this global enterprise trying to work across borders to then reinvest and make a big impact in a smaller community like La Crosse and La Crosse County. It's really interesting. If people want to find out more, about the foundation or look into maybe grabbing some of this olive oil or coffee, where's the best spot for them to go? For the time being, arisglobalimports.com. That's our website. That's going to have all the information. It has retail partners. It's in fact, I have a tab open right now. I'm building another page for the Anthony Foundation. That's our best place for information right now. Of course, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, and everything we post on the website, we post on both of those as well.
La Crosse Local Podcast is a production of River Travel Media. Do you have an interview idea you would like to share with us? Message us on Facebook at La Crosse Locals. Subscribe to the La Crosse Local Podcast on your favorite podcast app. If you like us, rate us 5 stars. We thank you for it.